Hey guys, it's Stacy here. Welcome to my channel, Life's a Project, where I like to share my everyday life projects with you. So I hope you're ready for a Christmas DIY because for today's project, I'm making a Christmas garland. Now here are the supplies I'm going to be using. Now all of these pretty much came from Hobby Lobby where I got 40 to 50% off, and I really love their quality of pieces. Really nice to use for crafting projects. Now everything except for the red ribbon, I purchased that from Michael's last year when they were having their huge after Christmas sale. I really got a good deal on the red ribbon. Now this soft poly mesh in white I'm going to be using as the kind of base for my garland. It is 10 inches by 30 foot long. Now I will be cutting it in half to use two 15-foot strips, and it is a little pricey at $15.99, but I did get it for 40% off, and I'm only going to need this one roll. And then next I have here this roll of burlap. It measures 5.5 inches by 15 feet long, $5.99, 40% off of that. A really good deal, I think, and I love the accents of burlap. It feels really cozy. And then up here I have 5 rolls of ribbon, all in different designs, but all measure the 2.5 inches wide. The first one here, just that beautiful plain red with a kind of a linen texture, really nice. The second one here, just a plain roll of burlap. These two side by side, really similar, but one has the holly with the berries, the other one the branch with the cardinals. Now this one here, just to bring in a little bit of the green. I love that traditional green and red for Christmas. These have the deer and the trees. I love it. And then here I have a pack of 6 of these bells. I love the sound of bells for Christmas. And then down here, some pine cones. I like to use pine cones in a lot of different projects. I purchased those last year from Hobby Lobby. And here I already had some of this green floral wire. I'll be using that. And then I have 2 sprigs or 2 of these evergreen picks. And I love the way these look, even though they are plastic. I think they look really nice and high-end, good quality. And here I have 1 large pick. Now these are extra large red berries. I think they look more like just your solid red Christmas balls, Christmas ornaments. So I'm really excited to work those in. And then over here, a couple of these snowflake picks. They look like snowflakes, but they also look like deer antlers. So a really fun way to add in that kind of woodland Christmas with the deer, the cardinals, the antlers, pine cones, branches. I really love it. Now the first thing I want to do is give these pine cones a little bit of a makeover. Now I love them just plain in their natural state, just that plain brown. I use them like that most of the time, but I really wanted to make them look like they had a little bit of snow on them. So using this acrylic paint that I already had, I'm just going to put some down here on my craft paper. It's not going to take much. Now I've already did a couple, let them dry to kind of see if I like it, and I love it. You can see here I just kind of painted the tips to look like that they have been snowed on, and I really do think that it makes them pop and you don't get lost with just the plain brown color. So I'm going to go ahead and do all of my pine cones here. I think I need to do like 14, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's really simple. So I'm going to start by holding the tip of the pine cone, and really that's just to keep my fingers out of the way so they don't get paint all over them, and just lightly adding the white paint to the pine cone. It doesn't take much, just keeping it on the surface, on the tips of the pine cones. I don't want to work the white paint down into the layers, down into the grooves, just kind of working the paint down toward where my fingers are, and you can see it does soak in and lighten up. And I think that looks more realistic. If you have the bright white, I think it looks more fake. So I think when it lightens up, it looks a lot nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these painted. I think I need 14 total, and they should dry really quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and get them all done, and then I'll show you the next step. Now the pine cones are finished. They're just about all the way dry, and you can see here this is one that I already have that's dried, and I want to show you how I like to take some floral wire to make a false stem. Now the stem will allow you to attach it to different things, different projects you're working on. Now you can see here I just folded the wire in half to find the center, and then I just worked the wire down into the grooves of the pine cones, and you just want to make sure it's down in there really well so that it stays nice and secure. Then take the two ends of the wire and just start twisting them together. Twist it several times so that it's nice and secure, and you can see the wire is attached to the pine cone, and you can use it to attach it to garland or floral arrangements or to whatever project you're working on. So next I have two of these evergreen picks from Hobby Lobby. They were originally $3.99. I purchased them for 40% off, which was about $2.40 a piece. So for about $5, I got two, which is a really good deal, but I think if I had to buy 10 to 15 of these to go around my entire garland, that would get pretty pricey. So what I like to do is deconstruct each of these picks to make a bunch of these little smaller picks. And I think it's a really good way to add the greenery all the way around the garland without spending a lot of money. So each of these little picks pull off of the larger stem. It doesn't hurt it a bit, and you can see some even have the little pine cones attached, which I think look really cute. So I should get 7 total from each one of the larger picks. So I should get 14 smaller picks from 2 of the larger picks, and that comes out to about 35 cents a piece for the little picks. And I think that's a super good deal and a really good tip to save some money. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of these off, and I'll show you what's next. So I purchased this extra large berry pick again from Hobby Lobby, and my plan is to deconstruct the entire thing just like the evergreen picks. Now this one is pretty pricey at $9.99, but after the 40% off I got it for $5.99, and so I think that's a much better deal. Now I'm going to remove each one of the berries from the stem so that I have kind of these red ornament balls that I can use all the way around my garland, and they'll come out to about 40 cents a piece, which I think is a much better deal and a much better use of this berry pick. So I have all of the berries removed from the stem, and I did that really easily with some wire cutters because they're pretty hard to get off with some scissors. Now I did leave a little piece of stem attached. Now I just want to take a piece of the evergreen pick, and then using a pine cone that I painted and added the little wire stem, just attaching it to the pick. And that looks super cute as it is, really pretty, but I think it would be nice to add a pop of color using the berry. I can just kind of hot glue that into place and use that around the garland. I have all of the little picks done here, my little pine cones attached to the evergreen, and I just did it again with the wire. You could hot glue everything on. You could hot glue the pine cones and the evergreens to the garland if you would like, and that would be a faster process, but I think the wire makes everything really durable, especially if you're making something like this to go outside. So now it's time to put the garland together. So I'm here in my hallway, which I think has pretty good lighting, and it does have enough room that I can kind of roll everything out. So starting with this soft poly mesh in this matte white finish, I think I love it so much because it's not that kind of more plasticky or shiny, sparkly looking deco mesh that you see a lot used in garland making. And I'm really not a huge fan of that. So next here I have some of this burlap. You can see here it's 15 feet long, and I can use the entire thing to make a 15-foot garland, and I can just layer it up right on top of the deco mesh. And I think having the 2 different colors and textures is going to look really good. But I'm not finished yet. I want to add some of this red ribbon that I got from Michael's. You can see originally priced at $15, but I got a super good deal on it. And after Christmas sale, they were having, but I don't exactly remember what I paid, but you get 75 feet on this roll. So a really good deal. I'll be able to use this for this project and other projects throughout the season. So I have the red ribbon in place, so I love the mixture of the red, the burlap, and the white all together. It looks really pretty, and you can see I've already cut the white one in half, so two 15-foot pieces. I doubled those up on the bottom, and that will give more weight and bulk to the garland. So I've already started attaching the 3 layers of the garland together using some wire. Now I just came a few inches from the bottom and just kind of bundled it together, just kind of gathered it up, tied it with some floral wire, and just tied it off on the back here. So really simple, and I think it turned out really good. Now you can see here, I just want to finish the edge of this red ribbon. So just fold it in half and then take a pair of scissors and cut it at an angle, and then you get a really pretty dovetailed end and finished into your ribbon. So I want to go ahead and just continue to kind of gather the garland together all the way down, but I want to space it out evenly. So using what's left of this roll of mesh, which is about 10 inches long, and I'm going to use more floral wire, and I could just use that as a guide to kind of measure where I want to tie off the next wire. So just gather it all together, really easy, and just tie on the wire. So you can see now I'm finished with that step. I've done it all the way down the garland, and I think it looks really good. So now it's on to the next step. So really quickly, I wanted to give you a close-up look. Now you can play around with the different layers, the ribbon, the burlap, and the white mesh, and you can kind of fluff up the layers of mesh. So far so good. I think it's looking really great. So now I'm going to use the ribbon, and I just cut little strips of each of the ribbon, just the same size, just using the 4 different ribbon. And all I'm going to do is just fold them in half first and dovetail their ends just like I did before using some scissors, cut it at an angle, and it just really makes a pretty finished edge. And then I'm going to take the ribbon and fold it in half to find the center, and then I can gather all of the ribbon together and I can tie it off with some wire. So really simply, just tying it off in the back and twisting it a few times so that it's nice and secure. So now I have something that resembles a bow, and I'll be able to cover the portion in the center. And I just take all of the little pieces of ribbon and separate those going in different directions so you can see all of the different pretty prints of the ribbon. So all I've done is wired on the bow to all of the places where it had the gaps in the garland, where I've kind of pinched the garland together and wired it so it kind of hides all of that. And you can see here the bow I think turned out really good, and this is really a good simple alternative to a bow because you're just layering up the different ribbons, and I think it turned out really pretty. And I love the addition of the little greenery pick with the pine cone, and then I can also attach the little red ball here with some hot glue. So I went ahead and made a bunch here to cover all of the spaces, and they turned out really pretty. Now you can see here that I've alternated the green with the other ribbon, the green and the other ribbon, because the cardinal one and the berry one is similar, and I really wanted more of that pop of green ribbon. So I did put the green ribbon on the top of most of them, and I can kind of alternate the brown or linen color with the green. So here it is in place. Now all I have left to do is just attach the little balls on here. So I'm just going to use some hot glue because that'll make it much easier. So just put on some hot glue here, and then I just press it into place where I want it to go, and then kind of hold it a bit until it dries. And that's it, and I think it looks really good. So guys, look how it's looking so far. I love it. It could actually be finished at this step. It looks so beautiful, but I do want to do a little bit more. But this would be so pretty, you know, hanging anywhere in your home. So the ends I think are really pretty, and I could just have done the same thing adding a bow like this one down here as well, but I did want to do something a little different to add a little more interest, a little more drama to the ends of the garland. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So guys, take a look at this. I wanted to make a big beautiful bow to go on each end of the garland. I thought that'd be something different, something really fun, because I love the look of this ribbon. Now this ribbon is really high quality and sometimes very hard to work with because it is stiff and it is thick. So I like to make a bow using the Bowdabra. So you can check out my YouTube channel, and I have a couple of videos on there how to make a bow using the Bowdabra. So you can check that out if you're interested. So I'm just going to make a couple of these bows and I'll show you what they look like. So guys, I'm finished with this bow and I think it turned out so gorgeous. You can see just using the different ribbons, and then I just added one of the little picks in the center. I've dovetailed all of the ends to give them that nice professional finished look, a really high-end look, and I've just used my fingers here and just kind of went down all of the ribbon, and that kind of makes it lay more flat and not have really crinkly edges. It just makes it nice and smooth and kind of gives that little kind of curl at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all of these. Now I did use the centerpiece of the little antler snowflake, and I think that turned out really cute. I just kind of poked that down right into the center of the bow, and again the pine cones with the little evergreen pick. I love it. So guys, my garland is finished and I am loving it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. You can see here on the bottom I've added on those big beautiful bows. I just wired them into place. Now this mix of color and just this look is my favorite look for Christmas. That cozy kind of rustic farmhouse with a little bit of woodland with the deer and the cardinals and the pine cones with the picks. I just love it. Nothing too shiny, fancy, or sparkly. Just that beautiful traditional Christmas feel. And of course, if you were doing this project for yourself and thought these big beautiful bows were a little too much, you could just put the smaller bows on the end as well, and it would be equally as beautiful. So guys, I did want to share with you what it looks like up off the floor and onto a large furniture piece like my armoire here that I have in my living room that I hold my TV in, and I think it looks so pretty. And I just quickly put it up here. I didn't really fuss with it too much. I didn't even really attach it. I just kind of draped it over the corners, but I think it just looks so pretty. Now you could put it over a hutch, maybe over your cabinets in your kitchen. You could also use it down the center of a long dining room table, kind of weaving in and out of candlesticks or floral arrangements. Just so many different ways to use this over a doorway or over top of a beautiful set of windows, of course, are your more traditional ways of using a garland. And of course I could have fussed with these bows a little bit more to make them look a little bit better. And I can do more of that when I'm actually decorating this year for Christmas. But guys, give this project a try. You really can do it for way cheaper than it would be to go buy a garland like this in the store. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future projects and other Christmas projects. And you can also go check out a couple of videos decorating the inside of my home and the outside for Christmas 2019. That'll give you a lot of Christmas decorating inspiration. So guys, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.